What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Two Lost Office Hours. I feel like I haven't done this in a very long time. I didn't even have everything set up the right way, so I apologize for being a minute delay. But welcome everybody to Two Lost Office. We have a returning guest. My man Leroy. Leroy, how you doing, man?
Feeling good. It's a great start to the year, and I'm excited to be a guest on your show again, man. We've got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, it what things are turning around. Definitely wasn't a great start to the year for me. I just felt like I kept getting bad news after bad. Like January was rough, but the start of February has been much better. So I'm excited. But yeah, I can't even lie to you. January was a rough month. I know that oftentimes I like to get these shows started with a win from the past week. Can you think about something professionally or personally that you want to celebrate as a win?
Yeah, I think just getting this partnership announcement finally off. We've been talking about this for a while. We were in beta at the end of last year, and now we're ready to announce it and launch it. So, this is the first real big win of the year for us.
Nice, nice, nice. And we're going to jump into that. We're going to talk about all the details. But for the folks that weren't tuned in to the first show that we talked about Big.Ass.Kids, let people know a little bit of background about yourself so they know who they're hearing from and why they should stay tuned in to the entire hour of Two Lost Office Hours today.
Got it, man. So I've been in the music industry for almost 20 years now. Started off as a music manager, really focused on developing emerging artists. Did that for several years, and then segued into talent buying at the legendary SOBs in New York. We've done some really big, incredible shows, introducing the emerging artists to the New York City landscape. Did that for several years, and then focused again into the management label side of things. Worked with Bishop Nehru, worked with MF Doom, Angel Hayes, Lion Babe, Charles Hamilton, over the years. And then from there, I decided to launch a company called Big.Ass.Kids as a record label initially, to focus on collaborative projects and albums that I just always wanted to do. And that was 2020, 2021. We launched See You Next Year with Pigeons and Planes. And we started growing a really engaged emerging artist community, to the point where we started evolving the business and started doing a lot of things to help empower and help artists with resources and development. So, yeah, in a nutshell, artist management, label, and talent buying is kind of my backbone in the industry.
Nice. Remind people. I know that this session is designed to kind of dive into the Music Man partnership, but remind people what Big.Ass.Kids is currently in and how you guys are servicing the community.
Yeah, so Big.Ass.Kids, starting off as that record label component, we added community to what we do, and over the last year, we launched the Playground, which is a community-driven platform, really designed to connect music professionals and independent artists for their needs. The landscape of the music business over the last several years, there's been a tremendous amount of layoffs in music. People who have been in music 5, 10 plus years, providing incredible value and impact to artists, are now looking for work. So marrying the two opportunities of all of the volume that is approached to us with artist service needs and whatnot, we wanted to extend these opportunities to our colleagues and people in music who are just exceptional. So we digitized that that concept and created the Playground. So that was all of last year, was really refining that concept. We built it into a 25 country community of all areas in music. Whether you're an artist that's traveling the world and you're on tour and you need a videographer in a city you've never been, a lot of artists tend to go to Instagram and go on stories and ask for recommendations. And does anyone know any videographers in Berlin? And sometimes you'll get a lot of referrals, but you don't know where they're coming from or how good they are. So we decided to vet this community and bring on professionals that have proven to provide value. You can see their work. You can vet them yourself. And that was phase one of last year. And then phase two was really adding the component of Music Man, which is our distribution platform, because we wanted artists to feel that they can customize their infrastructure versus a one size fits all approach. You know, as a manager, I've experienced a lot of issues in the different areas. Whether you're signed to a major label, you sign there because the marketing team or the A&R team is great. So you signed a deal, but in 6 months that team might be laid off or might leave and work somewhere else. Right.
Right.
So that was one of the things that we were left with uncertain support. So we wanted to create something that kind of defeats that situation. Where artists can come in, have an account manager to help identify their needs, and the solutions for what they're dealing with.
Yeah, I think what you guys are doing is dope because obviously there's a huge opportunity for artists these days to build out, to have success independently, but it still requires you to build a team of folks that kind of know what they're doing and you're comfortable and confident that people are 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 capable of handling the role that they sign up for, and for you to provide a community of people, because I know that a lot of times artists just don't have these people sitting right next to them. They're not easily accessible. So to have a community where they can go and potentially meet some folks and build out their team that way, I think is a huge value add. So shout out to what you guys are doing. So specifically from a distribution standpoint, you guys have partnered with Two Lost and you guys have launched Music Man. So just from a distribution standpoint, what was the need for for something like this, and how did the idea come about?
Yeah, I think just kind of basing off my past experiences dealing with all the different ways of releasing music. One of these high volume distributors, do a great job sometimes of getting just your music to the stores, and I think like my friends over at Indify say, artists are founders, right? They're the founders of their business. So you have to approach your business that same way, just like any other industry. You want to surround your business with the right tools and personnel to help it grow. And we felt that some of these more aggregator based distributors don't really provide anything post delivery. And we wanted to create that segue from delivering your music to also identifying the resources and the personnel that you need to then have a successful campaign. When you're paying a flat fee, there's no real incentive to grow the artist and to provide additional resources. And we feel like that's where we come in, where we can add that value of having an account manager who can talk to you about your upcoming release, who can talk to you about your needs, and then from there help customize the solutions that are built for you. And whether it's for an album, a single, a show, overall strategy, consultation, we feel artists, like we like to say, just because you're independent doesn't mean you have to do it alone, right? So we like to be that added service to building your infrastructure to effectively put on a good strategy to launch your project.
Right. So I think it's setting expectations, right? Because on one hand, obviously we're your partner in this, but on the other hand, it's kind of like you're talking to us. But I think it's the expectation of a distribution company, because for only $3 a month, people are using Two Loss, and I think you're getting a lot of value. I just think when artists comes with a different level of expectation, we're servicing hundreds of thousands of artists.
Yeah.
So the expectation is where I think sometimes are a little off. But in terms of the value you're getting for $3 a month, I think Two Loss does a hell of a job of supplying, a quality distribution service, great analytics, collaborative tools, licensing needs for covers and things like that. But you're talking about like actual, not hand holding, but somebody to talk to, your release, because we can't provide that on to 300,000
Absolutely.
artists, right? So that's kind of where you come in, and you're working with artists. How do artists, well, let's take a step back. So what's the process like? How does it work if they say, hey, I do need a little bit more. I want to work with Music Man. What does that look like? And can anybody sign up?
Yeah, and just to preface that question, like totally. I mean, I think one of the biggest reasons why we identified Two Loss as the right partner is because all of the tools that you've mentioned are accurate, and I think you guys do a great job with that. And I think that getting that side covered is important for us, and where we come in is like you mentioned that extra support. So the way it works, if you are interested in distributing with Music Man, right? There is at the moment a sign up form. At the moment, because we are very personable in terms of our service, we can't open it up to a million artists a week, right? We like to call it curated value. So, we spent last year launching these really exciting emerging artist playlists, where we give artists an opportunity every 2 weeks to land on a collab playlist with one of our partners. And then from there, the playlist goes live and you're getting a really cool look with us and our collaborator. But we are really focusing on artists that we've identified who we've supported in the past initially. As we grow and as we add people to handle volume, until then, we like to take on what we can handle from a one-on-one basis. So, an initial call happens to explain how Music Man works, in terms of the account manager, the playground, our playlisting, and then from there, once you understand what's the equation and everything is official, I then connect you with Carolyn, who runs the playground. The point of that conversation is to call it an onboarding email and call to help identify your needs. What are your upcoming releases look like? What have you done in the past? What works? What doesn't work? And then from there, we set you up in the playground so you can go in and roam yourself to identify and network. But then we also come back to you with some solutions based on the exact needs that you've listed out. We come to you with a curated option of professionals that we feel can make an impact.
Got you. So what are okay, uh, is the form available now? Are you guys open for taking more folks to fill out? Can we post the form in the chat? Is I guess the better
Yes,
question.
yes, we can. So it's B.A.K musicman.com. And
B.A.K musicman.com. Boom.
yeah. And then from
Cool.
there, you'll get prompted to sign up, and we get a form, and then we reach out to you to set up a call to talk about what it is, answer any questions, get everyone up to speed, and then from there, if everything is a go, we connect you with our team, your account manager, to help to start the process. One of the things that I'm really excited about is a new playlist series called Retroactive, because we feel that music discovery is an ongoing process. It's not just about your newest song, your upcoming song. If you're a new artist and I've never heard of you and I'm listening to your oldest song, to me, that's a new song, right? So we want to make sure that whether you're on cycle or off cycle, we help reintroduce your older material to the forefront, that we are distributing. So catalog migration is a big thing for us too, because we feel like, why have your catalog sit somewhere and it's not getting worked? We want to reintroduce your music to our audiences through this new playlist series that we're launching this month.
Got you. And these, just to be clear, these are playlist series that you guys are developing internally that are starting to build, and that you guys will promote and get some traction on, right?
Correct. Yeah. So every like another 48 hours is a collaborative playlist. So we identify a new collaborator every 2 weeks. We give it a 48-hour window to submit, and then later that week we publish the playlist of some of our favorite songs. And then we do it again, and we highlight artists from that playlist, and then we do it every 2 weeks. So we're building it, we're growing it each and every other week. And the retroactive playlist is going to be a new one that we're launching that's also going to feature collaborators. So yeah, I think it's just ultimately it's providing value to artists and making sure that they have an extra set of hands, a team that they can rely on when needed, and just helping them guide through the journey.
So let's set the expectations for joining Music Man. So we talked about a couple of things. One, you'll potentially have access to some of these homegrown playlists that you guys are building. they'll get access to the Big.Ass.Kids community to potentially, find some other folks that they can add to their team. They get an account manager. What exactly does this account manager do? Are they thinking through like release strategies? Like, how does this account manager help them, and what should they ask the account manager
Yeah,
for?
the account manager's job is to really understand what this next release is looking like. It's also to understand some of the wins and losses over the last, prior releases, to understand the overall universe of the artist, right? And helping identify who could be the right fit. We have metrics like personality, genre, market, and we, like I said, we have about 25 countries already represented. So for us, it's really to help understand what the needs are, right? And then the account manager is there to help pair and send recommendations, almost like a product manager at a label per se. Even though we're not a label, we are there to be, the conduit in between the artist and the resources that we have, whether it's, people or other platforms like Even that we really love, and Indify, and to really introduce tools to them that they maybe weren't aware of before. So they're available as needed. So you always have access to a Calendly link to schedule a call with the account manager. If you need someone to, have a consultation with, they can connect you with the right person. That way everything is tailored to each artist individually.
Yeah, and there's some questions in the chat that somebody asked: is this an extension of Two Laws? So I don't know if you want to describe the partnership or if you want me to fill in, but ultimately, Two Laws is still powering the distribution. This is just kind of another layer of support on top of the technology solution that is Two Laws, to help artists kind of build their teams and get more one-on-one access to professionals that might be able to assist them in their careers. I don't know how else you would describe it, but feel free to fill in the gaps if you feel like I left some out there.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to say it. And I think just to add in terms of just our business model, I think it's important. I mean, we charge a 10% distribution fee. I've seen other distributors charge 18, 20, north of that. Again, it kind of leans back on the experience that I've had in the past, where you do some of these deals and you end up, as a manager in the artist, you're doing all the work. And like, why am I giving up so much if you're doing all the work? So we felt 10% was a good exchange of value in terms of what we're offering. So yeah, I think with Two Loss, there are artists that are on Two Loss that want that account manager and this access to the resources. It's just an additional 10%, and you have free access to the playground and an account manager. So, I think that's one of the reasons why Two Loss was a great fit, because you guys bring a lot of value to what you guys do, and we wanted to add on top of that by providing access to a bit more resources externally to help each artist individually.
Gotcha. So hopefully people understand like the partnership here. It's still ultimately the pipes and the distribution is still being done by Two Loss. But as he's describing the service, if you want to be a part of this, so is there a certain level of uh like length of term commitment? Like if I just wanted, put one release through Music Man, and then I wanted to kind of go back, do people go back and forth? What's the term commitment once people lock in?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I mean, it's flexible, right? We do a 1 year non-exclusive agreement. When I say non-exclusive, I mean by, if you want to do a single with us, you can. If you wanted to do another single somewhere else, you could. Obviously, if it's from an album, you can't split up the singles from one album. We want it to be artist friendly, and we want to do such a good job that you want to continue working with us. And it's not a long-term commitment. It's intended to be artist friendly. So yeah, it's a 1 year non-exclusive.
Dope. So the music that you do distribute through Music Man, it has to be with you guys for at least a year, essentially.
Correct.
Dope. Feel free to ask questions as the conversation goes along. We'll answer them. I know that it might be a little bit confusing, but hopefully we've cleared that up. I see we have some folks that are in here. I'm not sure where you guys got the link, but Quentin, did you have a question? Did you want to come live and ask the question? Let me know. It looks like you're talking. I'm gonna just add. We're just gonna have him crash the show. What's up, Quentin? How you doing?
How's it going? Yeah, I'm just here listening in, getting some more information. Been observing what Leroy's been doing this last 2 weeks, so I just want to get as much info as I can. Just listen to this conversation.
Dope. I think we accidentally posted the link in the Twitch. We got to start allowing people to come on camera. I much prefer people to come on camera and ask questions than just post it in the chat. So happy to have you here. Quentin, where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Los Angeles, out here on the
Okay.
West Coast. Yeah.
Okay, dope. You out here. So I know I just kind of put you on the spot. Did you have a question or just want to see?
No, I didn't
Okay.
have a question. I'm enjoying the convo though.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. I'm gonna put you back into the audience. Appreciate you tapping in. Dope. All right. So this year for Music Man, is there anything that currently doesn't exist that you plan to add to the mix? Anything you're excited about that's currently in the pipeline that you can
Yeah,
share, that you're allowed to share?
yeah. I mean, like it's one of those things where you don't want to get ahead of yourself with ideas. My team will kill me if they let me run wild with it. But one of the things I've been really paying attention to over the last, man, I will even say the last decade, is kind of where this uh, Bitcoin thing is going. And I really want artists to have the ability to convert their earnings into Bitcoin. And I know that exists, and I know I've been talking to the team, but I want to really refine that process because I do feel, really really making your asset as strong as possible, and I think there's a future there in terms of artists who are looking to reinvest, their music into other forms of monetary instruments. So that's something I'm excited about developing. Outside of that, just really developing our playlist series. We did a really exciting one last year with Afropunk, where we identified artists for the playlist that we like, but then we also got a stage at Afropunk, where these artists from the playlist performed. So I really want to create more opportunities like that, more consistently, where it's not just a playlist, but it also gives you a stage to perform in New York and also grow your audience and kind of just get your feet wet and out in the market. So things like that we continuously looking to develop, and just more about collaboration. Our community is getting stronger. So, we're looking to collaborate with people within our community as well to provide value and resources.
Yeah. So you guys launched Music Man recently, but you've been super active already. There's a lot of releases that have come through. So I'm assuming you've had a bunch of conversations with artists. What are some of the key pain points that you think people are continuing to a common thread through, some of the initial feedback that you've gotten so far?
Yeah, I think just being an independent artist who does it themselves, like who doesn't have a team,
Hmm.
they don't necessarily know where to look. A lot of times artists don't know what they need.
Hmm.
I think sometimes they need someone to speak to who can guide them in the right direction. So I think, there are a lot of, platforms that, again, just get your music from point A to point B. But, in terms of growing your business, I think there lacks, certain personable, direct to human interaction to help an artist, navigate correctly. So that's one of the things that we wanted to focus on is making artists feel supported through their release. So that's kind of that's a lot of the biggest pain points. It's artists looking for tools, looking for people to work with and collaborate with. So we, not just throwing people in a pool where they can fend for themselves, but having someone who can help them navigate. I think is the sauce here.
Got you. And just to be clear, so when you work with Music Man, for that 10%, you get access to that account manager. The Big Ass Kids community for other potential resources, that's separate, right? Like those folks, it'll probably be a different contract or negotiation for those services.
Yeah. So, our value here is being that account manager that helps connect you with the right people. We've built this community of people that are at your disposal. But in terms of, yes, you have to hire these freelancers as well. On the flip side, on the playground side, it's a membership community, which means they're paying a membership to be there quarterly. It's very affordable. And, one of the things we launched this year is a 501c3 to provide free memberships to people who've been impacted by layoffs or, even the most recent fires, helping professionals transition to entrepreneurship. So they're in this community, which means we don't take a percentage of their fee, which keeps costs as low as possible. The artists are tasked with, working within their means, so they can connect directly with these professionals to talk about what it is that they need, the budget that they do have, and you work it out directly with each professional. So our job is to really help you identify the right people from a sea of vetted professionals that we've grown.
Do you have, I mean, maybe without naming names, just so people have like an example of like how some holes have been plugged on a certain team or a team has been built through the platform yet? Just so they can have a clear example of like what it potentially might look like.
Yeah, I mean, without naming, we could, put some names to the conversation. I mean, there's been artists who are, Latin music, Latin music artists who need a more of a specialized team member who knows the landscape, has the relationships with the DSPs and whatnot, but maybe are new and don't have access to a person that has these skill sets. We've connected people with, Melissa Sweets, who's really has an extensive track record over the years. Max Escobar was part of our community, who's been on calls with artists, and helping them guide them through certain decisions and strategies, and just overall consultation, just to put artists in the right direction. So those are just a couple of examples that, we like to match people directly with, what it is that they're doing, versus it being a random one size fits all. It's really about being as curated as possible. So there are people who just need graphic design. There are people who need content strategy. There are people who need videographers. Some people think they need PR. And I'm like, listen, PR, $3-4 grand a month, you're not going to get the ROI that you think you're going to get. So maybe repurpose that $3-4 grand a month into a digital campaign where you're effectively growing your audience, targeting your audience. Just really helping artists make the right decisions. It's not just about pairing it up with a person, but also, understanding the business a bit more and making right decisions. Some artists don't know what ISRCs are. Some artists don't know how to register their songs with PROs. Some artists don't know how to collect royalties effectively. So we have people who are, admin royalty experts who can help you register your song with ASCAP the right way. Things of that nature. So it's not just for a rollout or a release. It could be general consultation for your business. Again, it's artists are founders, right? So you have to lay the foundation on the business side, doing it the right way from the get-go, create good habits, understanding what you need to do as a young artist, and hopefully you lay the foundation as you grow.
Yeah, I think it's dope that there's so many different options because every artist is different. Every artist is in a different lane. Could have a different end goal than the person next to you. Like some people want to be the biggest artist in the world. Some people just want to get to a point where they're making a good living and covering all of their expenses, and everything in between. And some artists have a skill set already. They might know how to do graphic design already, or they know how to make their own beats. So they don't need that. They need different things. So I think it's dope that there's so many options for people to find exactly what they need to accomplish whatever their long-term goal is, because it's definitely all different.
Yeah, and a good point that you just brought up is, some artists do graphic design, some are aspiring directors, and this is also a network where other artists can hire you, and if you want to extend your other skill sets into the community, there's ways to do that outside of just you needing someone to help your business. Like you can offer your services, as well as find collaborations. It's a community. It's there for you to maximize as you need it. If you need to just share your new song, or you want to put out a live stream and talk about music production, think of it like a specialized, focalized LinkedIn for the music industry, right? Where you can come in and build, and not just go and look for something you need. You can go there and offer something yourself.
Yeah.
It's a really it's very versatile community to be a part of.
I think it's so important. Obviously, networking and growing a positive, healthy network is super important. I just posted on the Music Entrepreneur Club page today the importance of having people bring your name up in a positive light when you're not in the room, or consider you for opportunities when you're not in the room. Like, that's when you really start to get traction, when you have a ton of people that have you top of mind for opportunities, even when you're not there in the physical to present yourself, right? So, building your network amongst Big.Ass.Kids and Music Man, I think would be a great opportunity to showcase your talent, showcase the community you've built, and things, so that there's a reason to bring you up in rooms when you're not even in them physically. So with the form, once people submit the form, what are you guys looking for? Like, what would make somebody jump out more so than the next person that submits the form for Music Man?
Yeah, I mean, we want to get a good sense of where you're at as an artist. We want to see that you're taking your career serious, from the sense of you're proactive. You have you're putting music out. It's a business for you, right? Versus just a hobby. And nothing against that, but because we are solution based and we're community driven, we want to kind of take what you're doing as by yourself and amplify that, and surround you with the resources. So we take a look at what you have going on. We take a look at your socials. Not so much you have to have a lot of followers or analytics. It's just we want to get a good sense of you, that you're an artist who's taking your craft serious, and you're proactive, and you're looking to grow your business. We're that's all we're really about.
Dope. Maui, I see you down there. Did you have a question, or or you just tuning in? Just put a hand up if you got a question. So I just want to make sure. I don't want to. Oh, you do got a question. Okay, boom. Bring you to the stage then. Maui, what's going on?
So,
Hey,
man,
what's up? Hey, what's up, Leroy? What's up, Dame? I actually didn't have a question, just tuning in, but thank
Oh, my
you.
bad.
No,
My
that's all
bad.
good, man.
I put you on the spot just like I did Quentin. My apologies.
It's all good.
All right, I'll put you back in the gallery. Let's see. We got.
another thing too, Dame. It's there are small indie labels who just don't have the capacity of hiring a ton of full-time staff.
Mm-hmm.
Who are signing artists of different genres, and just don't rather put that money into promoting and developing the artist, but the personnel might be something that they're looking to outsource, as needed. So it's also a tool for smaller companies who are who need distribution, but also infrastructure. We want to help smaller entities that are signing artists with personnel to help develop their infrastructure as well. So it's really a tool across the board, but we're artists first. So we really wanted to talk about the artist journey, and some of the things that they need. Sync is another thing that comes up a lot. We're actively growing our team of external sync specialists and music supervisors as well, that are interested in providing their individual services too. So we're always looking to grow. We're always looking to see what artists need. We're accepting feedback. There's a feedback board in the community where you can tell us what you think is missing, and we could do better at.
So, all right, let's see. We got a question from the community. Would it be possible for Two Lost to implement a manager editor login for this would allow? So this isn't Music Man related. So this is so for the folks. I mean, some people might be new to these office hour sessions. They don't really know exactly what we do on a Monday basis, on a weekly basis. But typically we're focused on a particular guest and what they have going on. So please keep the Two Lost only questions. You can send those to support, or reach out to me on IG. We can answer those questions, but please keep the questions for this session. It's Music Man related. So if you have questions about the distribution service that he's speaking about, feel free. And we even allow you to come live. I think I posted the link. I'll post it again. I'll post the link again so you can come live. But please keep the Music Man or Big.Ass.Kids focus. Let's see. That's another two loss. Boom, boom. All right. Cool. What else? What else about Music Man that we haven't really touched that you're excited about, or something that's already happened that maybe you want to highlight on the
Yeah.
platform?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I think is definitely worth mentioning it because it is prominent on our site is that the artist funding solutions that we provide. We have a different take on artist funding than a lot of the competitors. We partnered up with a company called Run, which they focus on licensing back catalog for a flat period. That doesn't extend beyond 5 years, whether the deal gets recouped or not. So it's and it excludes future music. So you're only recouping from the licensed tracks. So this allows artists to reinvest into their future music without having to cut in future music to recoup. So we like this feature because it's always better when an artist comes in with funding that they can reinvest into their careers by way of whether it's digital marketing, whether it's adding personnel. We're able to help artists execute campaigns, with budgets effectively. So it's one of the things that we're excited to offer is this, back catalog way of getting funding through licensing.
Got it. There's a question in the chat that says, "What makes somebody eligible for funding?"
Yeah, for the back catalog licensing, artists tend to, we're looking at around 10 to 15K annually if you're generating that. For those who aren't eligible for the back catalog licensing, we have other partners, that you can access on the playground. Partners like Sound Royalties and Roy-Fi are a couple that we work with. So you can access that directly on the platform.
Got you. Cool. So I've posted the link again. Go to B.A.K musicman.com if you'd like to be considered for this distribution service. Again, Two Loss is a partner. We are powering the distribution of this service. This is just another layer of support if you feel like you're doing this on your own and you're a little lost in the sauce on how to release music, when to release music. They can provide some guidance and get you that next level support.
We have Dane. We have our the Two Lost B.A.K playlist kicking off on Sunday.
There it is.
Another 48 hours playlist resumes this Sunday. So check out, either the Two Lost or the B.A.K Instagram page for details. We launch on Sunday, a 48-hour window. You have 48 hours to submit a song, a Spotify link, an already existing song. And we spend that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday listening to every single song that comes in, and then we publish a playlist on Friday collaboratively. So you'll see it pop up on both pages, and you'll get a really exciting look to an extended audience. So look out for that. That kicks off this Sunday at noon.
Dope. And I know in the beginning, as you introduced yourself, you talked about all your management experience. You ever get tempted to go back into management? Any of these folks on the Music Man platform you working more closely with, or is that out of the question at this point?
I recently signed an artist named Guinevere that I'm really excited about, and that comes with a level of management. I still manage the group Lion Babe, but beyond that, my goal is to how do I provide as many resources for as many artists as possible. And I think, as you know, Dame, the management thing, I never understood managers who had 5, 8, 10 clients. I'm like, shit, I'm having a tough time with 2.
Yeah.
I think it's a full-time gig. So for me, it's kind of taking all of my learnings over the last 20 years and trying to create a platform that could help as many independent artists versus just a handful. But you never know. Sometimes things come along that really excite you. I think even my journey, I didn't go into this music industry knowing I wanted to manage artists. I just was discovering artists that I really liked, and it led me to play a much more important role. So I never rule it out, but it's not something I'm looking to do unless it finds me and it moves me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just the nature of entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship in general. You got to be kind of flexible, and when new opportunities present themselves that you think make sense. I mean, my path definitely took different turns that I didn't expect. But I think that's the nature of, like I said, the nature of entrepreneurship. We do have a couple more questions. I think you might have missed the pricing of it, but we'll talk about it again. Does B.A.K. Music Man operate on a commission basis? It's 10% of the music that you put through Music Man, right?
Correct.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. A 10% distribution fee comes with the account manager. It comes with access to the playground. But you do have to, if you are interested in working with anyone in the playground, you would hire them. They're not employees of ours, and I think that's one of the important parts is, again, like signing to a label or signing to another company. You're essentially signing because you're either getting a check or you're really excited about the team that's working there. But those are employees. These people can be laid off, or they can move on, mid campaign. It's happened to me several times where they leave before the campaign even starts, and now I'm like, wait a minute, who's my team now? So it's always best to kind of curate your team that work for you. That's part of your infrastructure. So that's the important part of having access to the playground, is having access to people that work for you.
Yep. Big Guy Journey asks, what genre is the playlist that we're kicking off this week?
All genres. So we don't, unless it's a specific collaborator. For example, Afropunk was, more of that Afropunk leaning genre in terms of what they've championed in the past, in terms of the artists that they've featured. But most of the time, our 48-hour playlists are open genre.
Dope. The genre is dope music.
There you go.
Good quality, dope music. Let's see. Any more questions coming through? Again, if you have a question, just put it in the chat. We'll answer it. I did post a link to come live. I think going forward, we're gonna have more people come live and ask questions. Let's see. There's some people. Oh, Sibia has a question. Sibia is not on camera, but I'm gonna add you to the stage. Here you go. Sibia, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. How you all doing?
Pretty good. You got a question?
Yeah, for sure. So, I got a record label and a small distribution company, here in Africa, So I would like to know if I can use Two Lost back end when it comes to distributing music.
Oh, so this is a more Two-Law specific question as well.
Yeah.
So possibly, feel free to reach out to, send me a DM. I'm dame.mec on Instagram. I'll just
Hold on a little bit. Let me pick up my second phone and I'll write it down. Like I've been to Two Lost DM on Instagram. I've tried to also send email, but I got no response.
Okay, shoot it to me. dame.mec.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay, appreciate you tapping in.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you. Bye.
Yep.
Yeah. Another thing maybe, Dame, I have mentioned, and this is more of the B.A.K. on the label side. Like we have, the See You Next Year project, which was our biggest introduction to, as a company, which is an annual project we do with Pigeons and Planes, where we identify a group or a handful of artists we really like and bring them all together with an iconic executive producer or an environment and make an album and document it. We did the first one with Mike Dean. We had Tizo on there, Red Veil, Fauna Hughes. Volume 2, we did at Shangri-La last year, Rick Rubin Studio. We had Kenny Mason, Paris, Texas, Monty Booker. We're working on Volume 3 right now. So, it's an ecosystem overall. If you look at Big.Ass.Kids now, it's an ecosystem where we do these projects, we do these playlists, you have this community, you have distro, and it all kind of intertwines with each other. So look out for these sorts of projects, and a lot of the artists that we distribute, have access to these kinds of opportunities. Even though they're, each project is limited in capacity, they do have access to the team that's putting it together. So there's a bit of value in that sense as well. So something worth mentioning.
Got you. And we got some random person asking this random question. I don't know who don't know who this is, but Carolyn Ortiz asked, "How does B.A.K. support women in music?" Hey, Carolyn.
Well, there's a lot of initiatives in the works to help support. Carolyn's developing a women in music incubator platform to really help women who are, starting their businesses in music. I don't think there's many women who own IP and own their own companies in music. And, there are a lot of women who are looking to do that. And Carolyn is building a platform to pair these women up with mentors and resources to help launch their own platforms, their own IP, their own businesses to help grow and have a stance in music. So that's one of the ways we are supporting women in music, alongside the mentorship program that's currently ongoing now, where people are just connected with other like-minded people who have an interest in supporting professionals grow.
Nice. Good stuff. Max came back with another question. He says, if an artist already has a team, can they still use the playground for additional support without conflicts?
Absolutely. I mean, I think, again, the community is there for what it's needed for. So if an artist comes in, I'm going to put myself in these shoes, right? I manage artists. I'm on tour. An artist has, a need, a videographer, a glam team maybe canceled last minute, or they want to their next visual needs to be this style. For me, it's also adding resources to the manager, right? A manager can never have too many tools, right? So for us, it's not just about supporting the artist, but if an artist has a manager, a small team, and that manager needs additional resources, this is a great way to tap in and network with additional people in the community to build their businesses as well as a manager.
Yeah. I think it's super important for like the team members, because to be honest about what their skill set is and kind of what they're building, right? I've seen managers in particular, kind of inflate what they're capable of doing, so they won't, and they're afraid to bring somebody in. But everybody can't be everything. I think you got to be honest. Your team has to be honest about what direction you're headed in, again, what the end goal is and what you're going to need. And then you take inventory of what you already have in house. And if there are some things that you need that aren't in house, you might need to reach out to the playground and see if there's somebody there that can fill that need. I just did an interview with a cat that used to manage Jesse Reyes. And he brought in a co-manager because he felt like bringing this co-manager in, even though it was going to eat into his commission, he's now splitting his commission. He just felt like they had a skill set that can really advance what they were doing. Right. And I just thought that was very mature of him to think like that, because there's not that many managers that will consider, bringing in another manager if they feel like it's going to push the whole team forward. And not just from a management perspective, might be other people that you don't have to bring in a manager per se, but maybe it's a graphic design artist or, a publicist or something. So we have to be honest about what our capabilities are and what's going to help us get to that next level. Sometimes that takes a pretty mature team in order to take an accurate assessment of what you guys are capable of doing. So cool. Let's see. Big Guy Journey asks, I'm a manager. What I've heard so far sounds dope. I'm going to go back and watch the full video. Oh, he must have tapped in late. Okay, cool. Jason, I think it's Jason. Do you have to be accepted, or is it a fee to get? So I think some people tapped in late. So I think it's worth kind of just reviewing kind of what the Music Man piece is. The distribution for 10% of whatever music you put through the distribution service, you get access to an account manager. That account manager is going to work with you on your releases, and let me know if I'm wrong. Leroy is going to work with you on the releases, help plan, strategize. You also potentially get access to some of the playlists that they're building internally. So that's the 10% piece. The access to the B.A.K playground, where there's additional people that can support, is different, and you'll have to pay for those services separately.
Well, you get free access to the playground, right? So you get the account manager who essentially, onboards you. It's more of a consultation to identify what needs you might have, whether it's for your upcoming release or just in general, career-wise. And that account manager taps into the playground to help identify the resources and personnel. But you also, as an artist, will have a profile within the playground that you can navigate and interact with professionals on your own. So the 10% comes with all of that. Now, if you're looking to hire anybody that you meet in the playground, you'd have to hire them directly and negotiate a fee that works for you. But our goal is really to identify, professionals who can make a difference, people who have proven to be impactful in artist careers. You can see their track record. You can see their work highlights. You can schedule a call directly with them on platform. You can message them directly on platform. You can have a conversation with them on platform. So it's really meant to weed out a lot of resources out there that aren't helpful, or people who are, on a predatory tip, who are just more interested in making a buck off of you and not really providing any resources or value. We vet everybody that comes into our playground, so we're making sure it's a safe space for artists to interact and identify solutions that they need.
Dope. And then I had a follow-up question. Can he join the playground without the Music Man distribution piece?
Yes, you can. So for artists who, there are artists who are signed to labels or have other situations that they just need the actual playground support and resources. That requires a membership. So we do quarterly memberships that you can find on our website. So you just go on the B.A.K Music Man and find the playground there, and it'll tell you what the options are in terms of how to become a member.
Dope. And then let's see, Big Guy Journey had one question that I didn't see. He said, "Do you have any Christian artists y'all work with?" Well, for the stuff that you have accepted thus far, does it lean towards any particular genre? Is it a good mix? Do you have some Christian artists in the mix already?
There's a good mix. I don't believe we have any Christian artists yet, but we are. What I can say is that we're growing the playground pretty quickly every day, and there are people who specialize in country music who are based in Nashville. We have people who are based in DR and Puerto Rico who focus on Latin America. So we're always, we're not, alienating any genre. We're looking to, if you make music, where chances are we will have someone in that playground that has experience in that field, in that world. So it is, as long as we vet you and you have a proven track record and you have experience, then we welcome people into the playground who can provide value. So it's not limited to a specific genre or any demographic.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You got anything? Oh, some more coming up. These are just comments. Do we have any? I wonder why people are asking, do you have a particular genre of music? I'm not sure if people feel like if you have more of that, it's a good thing, or if you don't have that, is it a good thing? Right? You know what I mean? Like if you don't have, because sometimes, like, because some people ask Two Lost the same question, like, hey, do you guys distribute a lot of country records? Sometimes it could be a good thing if somebody distributes a lot of country, because that could imply that maybe there's relationships built with, the DSPs that have more country contacts. But on the flip side, if we didn't have like that much country, that means that you wouldn't be competing when we pitch the records. Like you wouldn't be competing with 10 other country records that came out the same week. So I wonder if people think having more is a good thing, or because it could be either or in different situations.
Yeah, I mean the great thing is that it's the community is customizable, right? So I think at the end of the day, it's about who you're bringing on. Let's say we've never released a country record, but there are country music digital marketers and content strategists and A&Rs in our playground. That's the team you want. You want to be customized around a team that knows what they're doing and have the relationships with these gatekeepers and difference makers. So from a distribution angle, we service the music to 450 plus stores with the help of you guys, powered by 2L. So in terms of getting the music out there, it covers that. But in terms of having that personnel to champion the music and utilize relationships, that's what the playground's for. It's for a community of people that you can customize and build around. So hopefully that answers the question.
Got you. I think Journey followed up. He said he asked because playlists are usually based. So I think his question, he asked because more of a playlist based, because obviously playlists are more genre specific normally.
Mm-hmm.
And then
so
just
our playlists, like the B.A.K playlists.
I'm not sure, but I mean, obviously the playlist that we're doing in partnership, we talked about, is going to be, different genres. Yeah. But a lot of playlists are genre specific. So I get that question.
Yeah.
Jason followed up, and I hope I'm saying your name right, Jason. He asked more to see what resources are available in that specific genre. Got it. Okay, cool.
Got it.
Cool. All right, the hour is pretty much up. Appreciate people tapping in. Leroy, did you have any last words? I'll post the link to Music Man one more time in the chat so people that are interested can follow up and submit.
Yeah, I'm taking these calls, personally with each artist, to answer questions, to talk about and learn about what they have going on, and see if it's a good fit. Seeing if having access to a community like this is valuable to independent artists. So, as soon as you sign up on the waiting list, we will reach out with a time to schedule a call to talk about what you guys are coming out with and what you need. And if it's a great fit, we'd love to be working on and taking on new artists.
Oh, cool. So I think next week we have a holiday. We're going to continue to do Two Lost Office Hours on a weekly basis, but I think we are going to move to monthly starting in March, so that we can build up more anticipation for each show and just do better prep and get more people into each session. So it will be less office hours, but hopefully more impactful and better marketed office hours. But this has been another really dope conversation with Big.Ass.Kids, the Music Man, Leroy, the CEO, founder. Appreciate you tapping in. We'll see y'all next week. Or not next week. Not next week. I apologize. The week after next. Peace.
All right, guys. Thank you.